Does infinite intelligence really care about me? Hi, I'm Rev Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. I'd like to thank Ann Langell, who for responding to my request for comments and questions, and sent in a question yesterday, and that's what our show is about today. I really appreciate hearing your thoughts and questions because it gives me guidance on how to better communicate with you. So part of what Ann had to say was, I like to hear spirit used part of the time, not infinite intelligence all the time. It seems sort of unfriendly and distant, not so relatable. Thank you, Ann. Thank you for your input. And I must admit that Ann has a point, a valid point, because of our society, the term infinite intelligence immediately brings to the mind a concept of a force or energy so vast that it encompasses the entire universe. So in the presence of such a vast presence, how can a tiny human being on this small planet called Earth be of any significance? Additionally, how can a huge intelligence have anything to regarding us akin to love and caring? So, intelligence implies the collection and manipulation of data, which is very unemotional and detached. This is especially the case with so many science fiction movies showing artificial intelligence machines taking over the world, like Skynet and Terminator. So the concept of infinite intelligence, admittedly, can be somewhat off-putting and intimidating. I must admit that I had some difficulty with the term when I first encountered it many, many years ago. So let's look at the term infinite intelligence and see if we can bring it closer to home. Now, I first encountered the term infinite intelligence when I read the book Think and Grow Rich. The book was published in 1937 by Napoleon Hill. And Mr. Hill used the term infinite intelligence because he did not want to use the word God. He wanted a neutral term to identify this higher power that exists in all faiths, but under different names, whether Buddhist or Christian, Hindu, Muslim, Jew, and practitioners of various other religions. They all have their own names to identify the same force. By using any one of those would imply a preference for one over the other. So he wanted to avoid that. So he settled on infinite intelligence because he felt it was a designation that can be adopted and understood by everybody. And I later encountered infinite intelligence in the teachings of Ernest Holmes, founder of the Science of Mind religion, also known as religious science. His work was part of a movement in the early 1900s called the New Thought movement. Now, all those elements of those movements back then were based on the premise that God, or infinite intelligence, is all that there is. Now, one of the strengths of infinite intelligence is that it eliminates the perception of a personality. But that's also one of its weaknesses. Human beings automatically personify everything. We often view our cars as personalities that we can talk to, and we seek cooperation from them. And we have favorite bowling balls that win games for us. Sometimes we even give them names. I remember a woman who named her car Brad. And I remember the blues singer B.B. King. He named his guitar Lucille. Jesus refers to God as the Father. So the idea of having a conversation with a supreme being who listens and cares about you is widely accepted and practiced. On the other hand, some find it difficult to get cozy with infinite intelligence. Please click on the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Remember, I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts. So use the chat box next to us, or if you're listening to this in the repeat, in the comment section below. Okay, so what is infinite intelligence? Well, infinite intelligence is described as the basis of all things that exist in the entire universe. It is a force that sets and maintains the order that governs all things. It's the reason why we know that if we plant an apple seed, we're going to get an apple tree. If a male and a female lion mate, we know that they're going to get a baby lion. If an Asian man and an Asian woman reproduce, the baby will be Asian in appearance. Infinite intelligence is that order, and it's the prime source, the first cause of everything that comes into existence. It is the basic state of all being and is described most simply as consciousness. Everything that exists is energy. All matter is made up of energy that has slowed down in vibration and become solid. And when that vibration speeds up, it becomes energy. And when that energy speeds up in its vibration, it becomes consciousness. Consciousness basically is all there is. And this consciousness exists in all things because it is the source of all things, animate as well as inanimate. Now, there are other names for it, for infinite intelligence. There's universal mind, and that was introduced in early Greece around the time of Aristotle, I guess around 480 BC. Then there's universal consciousness or cosmic consciousness, which was explored in 1901 by a man named Richard Buck, who stated, this consciousness shows the cosmos to consist not of dead matter governed by unconscious, rigid, and unintending laws. It shows, on the contrary, as entirely immaterial, entirely spiritual, and entirely alive. It shows that death is an absurdity, that everyone and everything has eternal life. It shows that the universe is God, and that God is the universe. Now, the use of God, that word has become a source of controversy over the last 50 years. That's because of the growing rise of atheism. I know there's an influential collection of intellectuals and activists and celebrities who've attacked religion and the concept of God as superstitious. They state that since God can't be located in physical form and the concept of God varies from one culture to another culture and from one religion to another religion, then that's proof that God is only a superstition based on man's fear of being in the universe, the whole unfriendly big universe, all by himself. So as a result, many spiritual teachings instead refer to spirit or infinite intelligence rather than deal with the baggage of the God controversy. Now, the use of the term infinite intelligence also opens the door for scientific researchers and their theoretical physicists who seek to find answers to the questions regarding the origin of the universe as well as the creative laws of the universe. So there's now a growing school of scientists who are pursuing the theory that the basic state of existence is consciousness, and that all things originate from consciousness, which exists in all things as all things. So it's for this reason that infinite intelligence becomes personal. We, you and I, are the direct product of infinite intelligence. Some scientists believe that this consciousness expresses as light. Now, when we think of light, we think of visible light. But visible light is actually a very tiny part of the wide spectrum of light. Our bodily functions are regulated by the urgings of infinite intelligence expressing through our cells as light. Our bodies are filled with light. Our bodies emit light. Carl Jung put forth the belief that our minds are part of the collective unconscious, which is infinite intelligence. And it is from this collective unconscious that our thoughts and dreams come from. Now, Neville Goddard, who was a student of an Ethiopian rabbi in the 1930s, became an extremely popular metaphysician in the middle of the 20th century. And when he taught that what he taught is that our imagination is the direct link between our subconscious minds and infinite intelligence. And it is through our imagination that infinite intelligence communicates with us to give us answers, to provide us with ideas, to show us how to solve problems, and to guide us in making our lives happier, healthier, and more prosperous. Now, I communicate with infinite intelligence on a regular basis, I must admit, and I do it through my imagination. It sometimes whispers to me inside my head, but I have no need to turn around to see who's there because I know nobody outside of me is there. It sometimes shows me images in my mind of things I need to see, which is a highly effective means of communication because a picture, as they say, is worth 1,000 years, 1,000 words. It sometimes plays music in my head to deliver a message. And since I know that infinite intelligence is all there is, I trust it. I trust it when I notice a book on the shelf in the library that stands out for no particular reason, only to discover when I take it down that it has the answer to a question I have not asked yet, but was only thinking about it. I trusted it when I was lost the other day because I had the wrong address. And since I had the wrong address, GPS could not help me. So I was led to turn in a direction I was not planning to go in. And just at the moment, I decided that maybe I should pull into a driveway and turn around and go back. The driveway I pulled into was the place I was trying to find. I must admit, I do not always address it as infinite intelligence. Sometimes I call it my inner self, or higher self, or even spirit. Other times I may ask for the help of the angels. Sometimes I just ask, what do you think, self? And the thought comes with the answer as if I had thought of it, but I know that I did not. I can remember in my life, there were times of deep fear and despair in my life when I did not know what the truth was. But those days are gone. Now there are times when I am deep into the quiet that I'm flooded, absolutely flooded with an overwhelming sense of incredible love that brings me to tears sometimes and makes my body weak. In those times, all I can do is say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, over and over again. Infinite intelligence is all that there is. Whatever you want to call it is okay. God, infinite intelligence, or universal consciousness, whatever, spirit. Just know that the more you call on it, the easier it will be for you to know that it is there communicating with you. The stronger your belief that infinite intelligence is real, the closer it will be in your life because you are a precise expression of this force. You are an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. And what's so fascinating for me about infinite intelligence is that it gives us the free will to do whatever we want. We can deny its existence. We can do good. We can do bad. It has no need to control us because infinite intelligence is order. It is a creative force that works automatically. And as such, it attracts to us the life that is the exact match of our vibration, the exact match. So if your life is a mess, you can change it. Just change your vibration. And if your life is great, you can keep it. Just keep elevating your vibration. You have no limitations except those accepted or deliberately set up in your own mind. Additionally, all that is needed to accept this access, all that is needed to access this creative power is absolute belief, total applied faith, and unwavering persistence. Of course, we must always remember that we're still human, so life can still throw us curves and we have to live with the unexpected. But it's nice to know that infinite intelligence is always there, always. So in answer to our opening question, does infinite intelligence really care about me? The answer is yes, it does, because infinite intelligence is you. Please click on the thumbs up button below. If you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. And remember, I'd love to hear from you. So let's now close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work that we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and our hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we are beginning to understand our value to the community of life, the continuity of life on this planet. And as we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence. We can feel it within ourselves and within our lives more and more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear and anger and unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. Please click on the thumbs up button before. If you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. And remember, I'd love to hear from you. Use the chat box or the comment section below. In the meantime, I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind.